Hi, I'm Krista Redpath, and you are listening to Where Are They Now, a summer podcast series brought to you by Krista Redpath Media, where we break down the game, elevate the story, and champion the female voice.
We have a really fun one. Not only, in my opinion, one of the great players that we've covered in the Big Sky Conference, period, all sports, but especially women's basketball, but also one of the great small school stories that this state has produced. Our guest is Peyton Ferris. She was the Montana Gatorade Player of the Year as a high school senior at Twin Bridges. Then she made the transition to Montana State. And I think she has among the great stories of overcoming adversity in a variety of ways of anybody that I've had the pleasure of getting to know in my 18 years covering the Big Sky Conference. Class C to Division I is an enormous jump. Then you factor in she had multiple really severe injuries. She didn't really acclimate to the position that they needed her to play. So then she completely she's only about 5'8" or 5'9". She taught herself how to play the post. Oh, by the way, she didn't just become an adequate post. She became the best post player in the entire Big Sky Conference. Back-to-back top reserves in the league, and then on the way out the door wins the Big Sky MVP, takes the Cats to the tournament for the first time in like 25 years, and then she goes and drops 33 in the first round of the NCAA tournament. I mean, this is one of my favorite Montana stories, Krista. I mean, you're talking Twin Bridges is like 240 people.
Well, I absolutely love the fact that she played a lot of Little League baseball, too.
That's
when you
great.
listen to her story and all of the various sports that she played and her competitive spirit and nature, you can see that just set her up for her career. Obviously, one of the best Montana State women's basketball players to come out of Bozeman. And then just to have an amazing professional career over in Galdacao. Hope I'm saying that right, Spain. It was just really great to see her. And then now to step in as a wife and a mom and to have her daughter on the interviews with us and to watch her do that is really great. She's made a home in Belt, Montana, which was her nemesis.
Totally.
When we look at what happened to her in the state tournament.
Totally.
I know that my dad's listening, and he said she had one of the greatest, absolute best performances he's seen.
She scored 42 points in the state title game, which to this day is the record for all state title games in Montana, period, for girls basketball.
Yes. I mean, that's just phenomenal.
I mean, 42 points in a 32-minute high school game is like as good as you can do, basically.
And you watch her versatility. I mean, like you said, Coulter, she played the guard position, but then she moved to the post position and had a lot of success at the college game. Professionally, I know she killed it because any type of player like that can bring so many different facets of their game to the professional game. She just is one of those players that's all-encompassing, all Montana State, just a lot of fun to interview.
Our Where Are They Now series, proudly presented by Ryan and Miller Law. Ryan and Miller Law, a law firm specializing in personal injury and criminal defense. They handle cases across the state of Montana and focus in specific areas of law to ensure their clients are getting their best representation. Their firm proudly handles automobile accidents, medical malpractice claims, wrongful death claims, DUIs, and criminal charges. Visit RyanMillerLaw.com. Peyton Ferris.
Yeah, right now I'm living in Belt, Montana, and I work at the school here. And yeah, we're just have a daughter that's 16 months and living up here. So it's been fun.
What led you to Belt? And is that weird? Because if I remember correctly, you guys lost to Belt in the state championship game years ago, right?
Yeah. Upon graduating, if you would have told me I was going to move to Belt, Montana, work out of school, I would have told you were crazy there's no way it was going to happen. But when I came back in the middle of the season from Spain, because I got hurt again, and with all the COVID stuff, I was like, better for me to go home and do that. So I got home to Spain, and it was one of my friends that was living in Belt's at the time's birthday. So I decided I was going to come up and see her for her birthday. And I met my now husband when I was there with her, and just kind of was coming up here all the time to visit, and things just progressed from there. And now here we are.
There you are. You mentioned you're going to teach Spanish. Is that because of your time spent in Spain? I mean, is that where you kind of learned a love for the language, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I went over there and I took Spanish in high school and stuff, but I didn't know it. So the first year there was a little bit difficult with the language barrier, but I couldn't handle it. I was like, I need to go to Spanish classes over there and be able, because I couldn't talk to my coach directly, anything like that. So I enrolled in Spanish class. So every year I just went to those classes and got a little bit better at it, to the point where I was able to start speaking it. And so, yeah, I'm doing the master's in teaching program in Bozeman right now to get my certification for teaching, and then the endorsement through Spanish, because you can pass the tests. And something I wish I would have did right when I left Spain, because now it's like almost 4 years out. So
Right.
I got to knock the rust off again and start really practicing it again. But yeah, I'm excited to teach it.
Growing up in Twin Bridges, you mentioned you have a brother. Did you play a lot of basketball with him growing up? Peyton, was it always basketball, or did you play a lot of different sports? Being more from small town Montana, I find that a lot of athletes play multiple sports. They're playing whatever is put in front of them.
Yeah, we grew up playing a lot of sports we were always in the yard playing football, basketball, to a point. We were both super competitive. So it kind of got to a point where we started having to at least have friends there to play against each other, or just go play against our own friends, because yeah, I think even Monopoly got banned in our house. We couldn't play. It got too heated, and because he's super competitive too. So, and he went and kind of did the NFL, tried to go to the NFL and all that stuff. So yeah, both our mentalities are like, we are really competitive, and also we both have personalities where, yeah, there would be fights breaking out or someone mad at each other. So yeah, but we play different sports in our yard. We were always playing like football. We played baseball, basketball, you name it. I think one time we wanted to play hockey, but we didn't have hockey sticks out on the ice. And so we used golf clubs, and one of his friends got his eye split open with the golf club. So yeah, it was just kind of whatever we could do sports wise. We were making up games and doing whatever.
You played Little League with the boys one year, is that right? Or was it even for a couple of years?
Baseball, I started when we were living in Sheridan and I was going to school there. I started T-ball there and just worked my way all the way up. And then middle school, I came to Twin because we were living in Twin Bridges at that time. And I played with the boys. I think even one year there was a girls softball team, but I was like already with this team, and I was like, I'm going to keep playing with the boys. But yeah, I just played every year with them, and even made all-stars with the boys a few times, which was, yeah, you're kind of a lot of eyes on you, because it's like, wait, is that a girl that's playing out there or what? But yeah, no, I really like baseball. I played up through freshman year till like kind of, when it was a decision of like cutting it off, or Legion was the other option. But I wasn't going to play freshman year, but Twin got a senior league team, and Coach Lott convinced me that I needed to play one more year and it was going to be fine. And so, yeah, I played baseball up through my freshman year of high school. So
the relationship that you have with Coach Rob Lott, which is a very storied family in Twin Bridges, it sounded like it had some effect on you staying and playing for him in high school, rather than following in your brother's footsteps where he played at Dillon. The relationship that you have with Coach Lott, can you elaborate on that and what he did for you through all the different sports through the years in Twin Bridges?
Yeah, I think we moved to Sheridan or down in that area when I was about 4 years old. And he was coaching at Twin. My mom was the assistant coach at Sheridan in high school. So it kind of just started, the small communities there in the Ruby Valley started knowing each other. And my mom got on a softball team that Coach Lott's dad and him kind of helped coach him. And his son Tyler was my age, and he also has a daughter named Kelsey that I played basketball with. She was a senior when I was a freshman. Yeah, so I just kind of started getting to know. Our families kind of became close through that, and then he was the baseball coach, so I came over and played baseball for him. And he was just someone that he wasn't really a sugar coater, so it was someone that was gonna push you, tell you how it was. And even though I was the only girl out there, it wasn't going to hold me back from anything. So he really kind of, in baseball, brought a lot of things out of me. helped me become a confident player in a boys league, all of that. And it just kind of translated to, ended up staying in Twin. When we moved from Sheridan to Twin Bridges, our house and their house was like right across the highway from each other. So we were always driving 4-wheelers around, and I'd hang out with Kelsey, Tyler. I mean, we still go do that stuff. We're still trying to find times to hop on dirt bikes because we can just leave from our houses and all that. So yeah, it was really cool. And the impact he's had on my sports career, not just basketball, has been huge.
You guys were ranching, you mentioned, right?
Yeah, I grew up from the time I was born. My dad worked on different ranches, so we moved around doing that. And then when I was in late elementary school, my parents started a fencing business, so we built fences, and that's kind of what brought us from Sheridan to Twin. And my brother going as we lived in Sheridan, but then the house we moved to in Twin was in between Twin and Dillon, but it didn't quite make the bus stop at the Point of Rocks there to go to the Dillon side. And my parents were waking up to get to the job sites at daylight and working till, they had no more daylight. And so they were like, you guys have to catch the bus, because we were trying to catch rides from teachers from Dillon to Sheridan, driving through Twin. So finally they're like, you have to catch the bus. And my brother was like, immediately, because we have all of our family in Dillon, 2 of my other cousins are his age. So he immediately wanted to go to Dillon, be in Dillon. And I didn't want to leave Sheridan in the first place. I was like, I can adapt to change well, but if things are fine, like I don't change them. But we didn't have a choice. We went to Twin, and my parents were like, well, when Peyton gets her driver's license, then you guys can go to Dillon. Well, when I got my driver's license, my brother's like, so are we going to Dillon? And I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going. So when he got his driver's license, he went to Dillon, and I just made enough connections in Twin. I had a lot of close friends there, had the opportunity to play basketball for Coach Lott. And so, yeah, I just decided to stay there.
What was your favorite part about growing up in that area? That's such a beautiful part of, Montana's beautiful everywhere, but that's a particularly beautiful part of Montana.
Yeah, it's really pretty. I think once I left it and started exploring elsewhere, I was like, oh my gosh, like the number of things we have to do in that area is crazy. Like Belt is great. There's a lot of things to do, but when people, and I'm part of it is like, I'm not as familiar with this area, but there's people that they're like, we're going to Southwest Montana this weekend. What are things to do? And I just give them this endless list of things. And it's like, the rivers are big. That's one of the things I miss is just saying like, hey, texting a friend, what are you doing today? Well, let's go hop on the river and float or go to the lake or do whatever. It's just right. Almost. It was literally in our backyard at our house, almost just like a couple fields away. So it's pretty. There's a lot of things to do down there. And it's something I don't think I appreciated when I was down there till I got out and was like, there's just nothing like being back in Montana.
Montana, indeed, one of the most beautiful places in the state of Montana down there at the Twin Bridges, Sheridan, Dillon area. Just unbelievable. Peyton Ferris, a Twin Bridges product, Montana State alum, former Big Sky Conference MVP, is our guest on our Where Are They Now series.
Peyton, you were a 4-time All-State and All-Conference performer at Twin Bridges, along with playing volleyball. You were an honor roll student, Gatorade Player of the Year. Was it always Montana State? Because I know you were heavily recruited elsewhere. When did you make that decision of, hey, I definitely want to play for the Cats. I want to just stay and go down the road and play for Coach Binford?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was not dead set on the Cats. My mom's family's from Kalispell. My dad's family's from Dillon. So half of my mom's side was more of Grizz fans. My dad's side was more Bobcat fans. And I kind of was just I was neutral. My brother was a Grizz fan at the time. And, but I kind of was wanted to see something new. I was I'm going to go somewhere far. And I had my eyes set on things and goals high because I started playing AAU my freshman year and kind of started getting some looks from some pretty big schools and all that. So I was going to shoot for the stars. Well, then when my knee happened, things kind of change in those dynamics and your conversations with some of those coaches starts changing. But really it came down to the Cats, Grizz, and a lot of the Big Sky conference that kind of still believe, like, they still were full board with recruiting me and all that. But what changed was when I was my junior year of high school, my youngest brother was born. So yeah, I have another brother that's, when I was 17, he was born. And so after that, I was kind of like, well, kind of want to stay close. I don't want to like just go somewhere and not like be able to see him grow up and all that. So it came down to kind of the surrounding areas, which were the Cats, Grizz, and even like Idaho State, which is weird to roll off my tongue there at the time. But it was kind of like, that was my radius of each one of those. Like Missoula's 2.5 hours, Bozeman's an hour and a half, Pocatello's an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it just kind of came down to evaluating those 3 schools really hard. And I just decided that it was going to the Cats. So I think it's funny, my husband's a Grizz fan, and we walk into, there's a picture posted in my mom's house, and I'm holding my youngest brother and I'm wearing a Grizz shirt, and he just thinks it's hilarious. And I'm like, yep, I wish I had all these shirts to pick from, and I chose that one that day for whatever reason. So
can you imagine what would have happened if you would have went to Idaho State, though? That's fascinating, because that was like, I mean, the Grizz are a huge rival, right? But Idaho State was like your guys' number one rival when you were in college.
Yeah, it's weird to say now because, like, yeah, the Grizz, like, the dynamics of the different rivalries, it's like the Grizz are your rival, and that game's super emphasized by just everyone in Montana. And we were always had friends that played for the Grizz too, and we're always half the team I played against in summer ball growing up. So it was like, yeah, the rivalry with the Grizz was more of a Montana thing. But when it came to like Idaho State, North Dakota, there was like, no, it was all about like the playing style and the games on the floor that really just brought out, they became rivalries to us. And so it's just a different aspect when it's not like the outside fan base as much putting the emphasis on the rivalry. It's like really from within on the court of going to battle with them. So.
Well, your relationship with Idaho State ended up kind of intertwining for many years when you look at what happened in the first neutral site tournament down in Reno, which was a shock. And I am going to say you had terrible travel going into it. There were a lot of factors that played into that actual game against Idaho State. But then you bounce back and get your revenge the following year. And one of the most storied seasons for Montana State with that victory against Idaho State in the 2017 season, NCAA tournament bound.
Yeah, Idaho State was that team where from my freshman year, I think my freshman year of college, we went on this huge win streak. And then we played Idaho State, lost to them, and went on this huge lose streak. And then every time we went to play there, I'm not sure if I ever got a win down in Pocatello. It may be my senior year, but that was just always a place where we couldn't, I don't know, we just called it the Idaho State curse. And then, yeah, to have that curse essentially and then go down and play them in Reno 2016 was a heartbreak, obviously, because they won on a last second half court shot. But even before that, it was a tough game. I was pretty hard on myself after that game. I took a lot of personal responsibility on things that before that shot happened down the stretch of just little things that I'm like, that just haunted you. But next year going in, it was like it was my last chance to get it done. And yeah, we finally were able to not let them have some sort of kink in our season to, finally win the tournament.
I absolutely loved calling that tournament that year because it did look like you and Riley Norgard were absolutely on a mission. It was like no one was going to stop you, and you looked like you were dialed in and you dominated that tournament.
Yeah, playing with someone like Riley, it's like when there might not be anyone more competitive than Riley Nordgaard. And she just was an energizer bunny. And yeah, we were definitely on a mission. We were we weren't happy with how the year before happened. And it was just like our last chance. And yeah, we didn't want to let anything be in our way. So
what else do you remember about that team in that year? What made that group special?
It was just special from the start. I mean, the year before in 2016, we had a outstanding team, but the players I came in with, like Lindsay, Lexi, Jasmine. Marguerite was redshirted, so we were still on the 2017 team, but just those players, they all left. So a lot of people were saying we didn't have a post position. We were going to be too young. Like everyone that was filling those positions were freshmen. I mean, we had to rely heavily on Oleana, Blair, Madeline. And just from the beginning, hearing all those things in your head, I actually stayed in Bozeman for summer workouts because only the freshmen were required because Coach Ben wanted to put that much emphasis on trying to get the freshmen ready before the rest of the team came back. And I stayed with them, and I was like, I got to prep these guys. And I just remember Coach Ben kind of making this speech to them about how they're freshmen, this and that. And we walked in the locker room afterwards, and I just looked at him. I said, you guys aren't freshmen. I'll tell you that right now. And so just kind of being able to establish a camaraderie with them. I think in the workouts, they were like, holy cow, like she is like, I don't know about her. But then after the court, it was the opportunity to invite them over to the house. We go do things outside of the court too. And so it was special in the sense of like everyone doubted us because we lost a lot of key components, and then everyone come in was young. And so in our preseason, we had a lot of learning pains, like just a lot of things to get off and bring those young people in, and to be able to like just all of a sudden come on at the right time. And it was just a really special year because of how much growth we overcame and got it done.
I've always said that championship teams and seasons are not actually won during the year, but it's in the off season. I spent so much time with my teammates on the blacktop out at Mount Sentinel, just playing, developing those relationships, understanding the habits and the tendencies of your teammates. And I felt like that year for Montana State, you gelled at the right time. I mean, you finished 25-7, but when you got to the tournament, it was like, hey, it's on. And you could just see it in your eyes.
Yeah, I think that team, we really emphasized of just like being a family, being close together. I know that's cliche because everyone like says it, but like really like as a leader and standpoint, like I feel more secure playing with people that I know, like they know me in and out, off the court too, know my personality, know what my intentions are. So that way when I am on the court and things are getting heated or it's getting in the grind of things and, you know, we're trying to overcome this preseason, yeah, we're going through some growing pains and keep pushing them and finally be able to like have it all click and see it's like, yeah, you want those people that you can trust and being able to play with each other and going. We had so much fun just even like outside of practices too, and just we're so close. And that goes a long ways. Like even when you're in high school, emphasizing summer tournaments, like that's the part where like, yeah, you're going to play basketball, but go to places where you're spending and getting to know each other and actually like build friendships. And leadership's just a touchy thing because it's emphasized of you need to do this and this and this to be a leader, but it's just got to be so genuine. So unless you don't have those connections and being able to just play with each other on and off the court, going to do things you enjoy together, it's hard to really trust each other. But that team definitely had that aspect there, and it was special.
Special enough to set a school record for victories in a single season at Montana State with 25. That was tied then by the 2019-2020 team, but certainly Peyton Ferris and her teammates, one of the great runs in Montana State history. Where Are They Now? Presented by Ryan and Miller a lot. Ryan and Miller, Paul Ryan and Angie Miller truly care about their clients and the Montana community. The list is over 100 organizations that they help contribute to every year. They proudly put together backpacks for kids and communities to donate school supplies to local students. And I know they've helped out with so many different organizations that you have been a part of, from sports teams to quiz bowls and everything in between.
Well, and also the car seat.
Such a great
car seats for our community members in Missoula. They just their reach, Coulter. They extend to so many different organizations, sports, not sports, but community leaders.
So Where Are They Now series. Our subject this week, a former Big Sky Conference MVP, one of the great Class C athletes, period, in the history of the state of Montana. More with Peyton Ferris right now.
Peyton, you went through quite a few knee injuries. I know we talked about it in this interview, just the knee surgery in the summer of 2010, which was your junior year. You also struggled with knee injuries through college, and you came off the bench more in your career. Was that minute management? Was that a conversation you had with Coach Benford of, hey, I just really feel like I want to gauge what's going on with the game and I want to come into it instead of being a starter?
Yeah, no, those were all open conversations. Yeah, coming into college, I actually started playing the guard position, but my freshman year, I was going up for jump shots and airballing, and things just weren't right. And we found something wrong with my foot. And so I had foot surgery that spring after my freshman year, and then things still weren't right. So we kept investigating it, and I had knee surgery that summer of trying to come back. And then my redshirt year, I was trying to come back for my sophomore year, but it just, one thing was leading to another. I was trying to rush back, and I just kept getting hurt again. Almost ended up hurting my other knee because of it. That year was like really where I found my development of no pressure. And then the next year, we were kind of short. We didn't have as many numbers for the post position. And throughout that redshirt year, Coach Starr was kind of like, ooh, like I want to bring Peyton into the 4 position. And I think Coach Ben was kind of like, I don't know about that. But I got the opportunity and just went with it. And at that time, the posts were just me, Lexi, and Jasmine. And then Amy Davis also joined the team again that year. And so Lexi also had a really beat up knee. And so we just kind of, Jasmine and Lexi were big in me learning that position. We became a close-knit group of helping each other. We all came and meshed and wanted success for each other. And me and Lexi had the bum knees. So yeah, Coach Ben, we were all open with each other, and they were trying to present this to us about how to manage us. And we were just like, yeah, like me and Lexi didn't really care who started or what. Like we just wanted to win games at that point and be on the floor. Me and Lexi were just thankful to be on the floor. I think, yeah, we both were just battling injuries, and we knew that like not every day was guaranteed. So we just had really good open communication, and just, I mean, one year we split starts. It was just minute management and all of that, but it all worked out really well. So
playing with your back to the basket and also just all guard positions, you basically developed your game at every position. This had to have helped you when you elevated the professional game. And I look at Galdacao. Hope I'm going to say that right. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah.
You had 3 seasons.
I probably don't say it right either. So.
But you had a lot of success at the professional levels. You were there for 3 years. I mean, that year that got cut short by COVID was really disappointing. Talk a little bit about that transition to the professional game, and possibly all that adversity in different positions at Montana State allowed you to really excel professionally.
Being moved to the post and getting that footwork, had to go back and play guard and pro. It was like, it opened up some, like if you're a guard and can learn post footwork, if you're a post and can dribble the ball into your moves, and then all that, it's huge. So when younger players try to ask me to go to the gym, I try to say like, yeah, don't be one dimensional, be as versatile as possible, because I mean, that's what opened up my opportunities, was just being open to versatility, or else my career would have ended like after my sophomore year of college there. The versatility is where it got me as far as it did. And the guard play just helped go into my post play, and then getting experience at the post position. It just kind of, yeah, I was able to be utilized, cutting off the wing and posting up also in pro level. And yeah, it just all is really beneficial just to not put limits on yourself and expand your game as much as possible if you're wanting to go far with it.
So that time that you spent in northern Spain, did you develop some great bonds with the community, your teammates? What did you really like about being in Spain?
Yeah, I think I landed in a good spot because Galdacao is right outside of Bilbao, and Bilbao is the big city, which Galdacao is kind of like, yeah, there's like probably around 30,000 people in that community right outside of the city. But they have that like small town feeling. If you were stuck or trying something, somebody was there and offering to help you. We're actually going to take a trip back there here in a few weeks to see everyone because, yeah, it's like I was there 3.5 years. Yeah, I made friendships over there. I was able to play with the same teammates for multiple years. There was families over there that I kind of got close to. So, yeah, we're excited to go back and see everyone. And I still keep in contact with people there. So just hard at being across the world. So
when you decided to hang up your professional game and come back and have an opportunity under Coach Binford, can you talk about your years there, just molding the Dex generation and overlaying that Bobcat tradition? Because as Coulter and I know, Montana State has sustained and been a powerhouse in the Big Sky Conference, and there's been many great teams. You were also a part of a lot as a coach for Montana State.
Yeah, I think when I came back there, I just you just try to, I mean, again, there's all these cliche things to preach of like, be unselfish, be a team player, all that. But I'm just like coming back and trying to show examples of how, like, just because you're the team leader, like you have to show that you're there for the people that are just coming in, and you have to like legitimately, genuinely be unselfish, and not like you have to care about everyone from the player number 1 to player number 12. Like there's no just going out there and you're trying to develop yourself and be as successful as you can, but you can't do that unless you really care about other people on your team and kind of creating that culture of all that. So yeah, I just kind of tried to come in, and I was the Dobo there, and I just tried to work hard of like whatever was needed. You know, you just try to show and do that, and just no job is too pointless for anyone to do. You gotta, whatever needs to be done, if someone's got to be there to do those things. So
Peyton Ferris, our guest here on our Where Are They Now series. It's presented by Ryan and Miller Law. Let's hear from Angie Miller of Ryan and Miller.
Angie, in today's world of ever-changing economy, finances are never far from anyone's mind. It's just it's the way it is, and it's especially that way for professional services. How much does it cost to talk to you?
So actually, to talk to us and get a consultation, no matter what your case is, it's absolutely free. That's really the beauty of our job, that we can help people, give them some guidance, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything. For personal injury, medical malpractice, it's actually, you never pay anything to us. If we get a settlement or a judgment or a verdict for you, then we get a portion of that, but otherwise you're not paying us any money. So it's really helpful to prospective clients.
Ryan Miller Law, your Montana attorneys. Visit RyanMillerLaw.com. Ryan Miller Law, your Montana attorneys. More with Peyton Ferris.
It's about when you guys went to the NCAA tournament, because obviously that was a huge accomplishment to win the Big Sky, but then you get this draw where you got to go to Washington, and you're playing on their home court. They have Kelsey Plum, and I can't remember their big gal, but their big gal was an All-American too. I mean, she was like 6'5". It was like, she was one of the best bigs in the country. And I mean, obviously a tough place to play, but you had one of your greatest games of your entire career, even though you guys lost. So, I mean, just take us through, what was that memory like playing in front of that crowd, and then how were you able to play so well?
Yeah, it was like going to the NCAA tournament was one of the dreams I had as a little kid. I watched it all the time, and actually, like, that week was kind of, it's not the storybook week that you would really think I would have had. After we beat Idaho State, we got back to Bozeman, and that Sunday or whatever, I remember I'm watching on TV. It's like the selection show is going to be tomorrow, being super excited. And that night, got a phone call, and one of my brother's best friends that was our neighbor too, like he was basically my brother, had passed away. So, like, not going to lie, that week of preparation for practice, it was like kind of a blur. I just remember telling Coach Ben, I'm like, I'm here, but I'm like not here at the same time. I don't want to talk to any media. I'm just not in a place right now. I'm trying to focus on the court stuff as much as possible and deal with what I'm dealing with back home. And so, it was a really tough week. It wasn't like the whole, it was still exciting. I was trying not to like have my energy affect anyone else. I was still trying to show up and, have my eyes set on that game. But going in, it was just like my brain, it was just a blur, and just I kind of was able to be pulled out of it once we finally got to Washington and we show up to our pregame shoot around. And I just remember talking to the ESPN analyst, and I was like, holy cow, like I'm here talking to these people that I've only seen on TV, and I've been watching them on TV since I was young. So that kind of pulled me out of it going in. And then the other part, the funeral was actually the day of that game. And I just kind of was just trying to manage my emotions the best as possible. And just walking in, I remember Coach Cole from Oklahoma. It was their halftime of the Gonzaga Oklahoma game the day before, and she's in her suit outfit that, again, and I'm just like, she walks right by me in person, and I'm just like, holy cow, like, I need to, like, I've been in this cloud all week, but like I really like this still is feeling like almost a dream. But I just really, once we stepped out and you just saw all the fans and it just like the purple in the stands and at the stadium, it was really, I just kind of knew I was going out there to play and just giving it my all of just, it was a bad week. And so this is the first time I really kind of talked to people about it in this extent. So yeah, but it was just kind of going out there knowing that I had everything to play for the town of Twin Bridges and all that. And so, yeah, I just let it all out. And it's funny because everyone's like, oh, that's one of the best games you've ever had, best games I've ever seen. And I'm like, looking at the statistics and I'm like, I think my shooting percentage, I remember like my field goal percentages were like really good my last 2 years of playing. And I'm looking at my shot attempts and percentages. I'm like, I don't know what people are saying. I shot like crap. Like I missed so many shots, but I took a lot more, but I'm sitting there. I'm like, sure. I don't know. If I
made a lot of big shots.
Yeah. But I was just like, I was more focused on like my field goal percentages and things like that to judge like efficiency and all that, not necessarily the amount of points you scored or anything. So yeah, it's just kind of funny of people talking about it and like, oh, that's one of the best games ever. And I think I've got myself to go back and watch it once. And I was kind of like, I don't know what other people are watching, but yeah, no, it was a special moment, fun game. I kind of wish I could have been in the moment more during it and playing against Kelsey Plum and Chantel Ozahor. But they were really great people too. I mean, they kind of talked after the game. And so, yeah, it was just a really cool experience that as a small Montana kid growing up, it's like just thankful for that opportunity to go have that experience.
When it comes to, all the various different challenges you had throughout your basketball career, whether it was, transition from Class C to D1 or overcoming the knee injury, switching positions, moving across seas, all that stuff. It seems like that part has come relatively naturally to you, just been able to sort of plow through the obstacles. Where does that come from? What has kept you going throughout all this? And also, what sort of advice would you give to young players now? Given like now it seems like you hit an obstacle, everybody just wants to transfer or do something else. And, like you were saying, if you wouldn't, there's so many different times when this could have just all gone away for you, but you just kept on going. So what kept you going, and what advice would you give to young people that maybe are going through similar challenges?
It might kind of be, I don't know, my Ferris family background, whatever. It's almost like we're the cliche of tell us we can't do something. And it's, oh yeah, watch this type deal. And coming in and yeah, I remember coming in freshman year, just things not being right, but I still was just trying to look past it and go, because I think you actually had asked me the question once of if it was too big of a jump for me from Class C to Division I, but I knew I had all these other things going on my knee, and I remember I kind of took it personal. Like I think you asked that question, I was like, no, it's not. I'm gonna I just was motivated to figure it out, and it was like questions like that the outside criticism start creeping in, and that you just have to keep grinding and block it out and just keep going. And I think that's the biggest thing you tell everyone is no dream is too big. You just got to put in the work of, it's not just there for anyone to walk into, and you could still put in all the work and still not maybe make it. But as long as you did everything you did possible to either prove people wrong or just achieve your goal or whatever mindset you have, that's all that matters, is that that you did everything you can to, there's a number of goals that I came up short on, but I know I tried my best in everything, and I have nothing to be shy about or upset about because I just left everything on the table with what I had to work with. So
Peyton, the theme of our summer series is to discuss and dialogue the Caitlin Clark effect, our movement in America, along with a lot of other impactful rookie players. But I want to discuss and I want to get your opinion on why we are all so captivated by her and what has this done for women's basketball?
It's been great for women's basketball. I think in women's basketball, there's just been this people trying to spark these conversations about things and trying to get people understand of, what's all around the aspects of women's sports and college basketball. And now that Caitlin Clark here, I think it's a similar, in my opinion, it's like a similar thing of what happened with like when Steph Curry came into the NBA, for example, just that different style play that like kids tried to play that backyard style, but were maybe told, no, that's not fundamental, don't do that. Where now Caitlin Clark's kind of bringing it to the women's side. Now that style's coming to the women's side of like, I remember me being told of, why are you shooting like that? Like, why are you doing this? And it's like, if I would have like listened to other people, then because everyone wants their own unique style of how they play, or they pick a player to model that playing style. And so I think she's just kind of, and with the social media now and the aspects and kids watching these things at a younger age and the availability of ESPN. I mean, growing up, it was hard to find women's games on TV. And I think my dad did a good job of like, when there was sports on, we watched sports. If it was when we found a women's sports, like the Tennessee games would be on with Pat Summitt and all that, he would make sure to have a point to turn it on, where now it's easier to access these games. And so it's just really taken off. And I think just because the big argument as well, there was these other players that are just like really good too, that nobody paid attention to. And it was like, I don't think it's not that nobody paid attention to them or anything like that. It's just, she kind of went to Iowa that wasn't really on, like there's the UConn, there's the big schools, all this, but Iowa was never in those conversations. And what she did to elevate that program to bringing Iowa to a national championship, I think that's kind of a main difference. That, yeah, I mean, if you went to UConn and you won a championship with UConn and you're really good, but yeah, it's like it was expected that UConn was going to be there, where, yeah, what she did at Iowa is just something it's just kind of people like the underdog stories and things like that. So, but yeah, now she's impacting the WNBA good. I know my husband's family, I don't think we're ever into like they don't watch a lot of, they live on a ranch, so they're not really, it's not that they just were watching like any of that stuff. But now it's like when they're in the house and there's a Caitlin Clark game on, they're like really watching it. And then it is introducing them to other players, and it's really good for them. Like, it's just sparking a lot of interest. And you still laugh at the comments of people arguing like, the equality revenue and all that, because they just want to compare it across the board. But I think now it's bringing more attention of like what we're talking about as women's players of, yeah, when a men's jersey sells, they get money from that. When women's players jersey sells, like, and Kelsey Plum explained it in one of her videos the best, is like, that's what we're talking about. Like, legally, the men have so many more things that they're entitled to of them, that making money off their name, that the women, we don't have that equal benefits yet. And so all the people that are on the surface level trying to compare the revenues of the leagues and the pay, it's like, that's not what we're really getting. I mean, yes, that goes into pay, but as far as like what we actually make off of what we do in our name, it's not the same as far as like even legality and personal wise. So I think it's just bringing a lot of good attention to it, to have the conversations of like, yeah, people are saying the issue is this, but it's not even like, that's not what we're getting at. So hopefully it can round out some things, and the more attention we bring, or that they bring, the better it's going to get for the future.
In your mind, how has your time, Twin Bridges, Montana State, and then playing overseas, how's it impacted you now here some years later?
Basketball, able to travel a lot, see a lot of things. So that's really kind of impacted my life of like, going out of Montana, seeing things, seeing different cultures, different areas. So yeah, that's really shaped kind of me. And also I think going in to help, trying to become a teacher, of dealing with, a variety of different situations and school settings, and just playing basketball for as long and going overseas, and just understanding the aspects of working with the team, and, trying to, as a group, be successful, and that translates to anyone's job going anywhere. I think the coolest thing was like, yeah, you're here playing in America, you go to Spain, you don't understand what people are saying. At first, everything's getting translated, but like really it's like just working as a team, all those things, is that you learn a whole different side of like what it means to be a part of a team, what it takes to kind of be incorporated and working as a group and all of that. So yeah, I mean, the game of basketball and other sports is just, I don't know if I can think of a single life lesson, even when it comes to being a mom or something like that. It's like, there's things I've learned from sports that it's like help you deal with all these real life situations. So.
From Peyton Ferris, our guest, where are they now? It really does. Like I always say, sports is not about winning or losing. It's just about learning about how to endure both. So I appreciate her sentiments there. What a great guest. Really fun catching up with the former Big Sky MVP, the former Montana Gatorade Player of the Year, one of the all-time great Montana State Bobcat women's basketball players as part of our Where Are They Now. Thanks to Ryan and Miller Law for the continued support of our Where Are They Now series. Thank you, Krista, for setting that up.